Psycho 2 was surprisingly good. Really good actually, but nowhere near as good as the first movie. There just is not beating that. It came out like way later, like 23 years after the first one, and several actors still returned for the movie, which I think is pretty cool. Um, this movie follows a different premise where the movie tries to make you think that Norman might not be the one doing the killing, or he could be. It's left ambiguous until the end of the movie. Um, there's people being murdered. We once again don't see who the killer is, just like the first movie. And Norman is saying he's not doing it. And we find out later that Norman's being fucked with by one of the people from the first movie who sister, he murdered in the first movie. So, now you have a bit of a motive to think that this character might be doing it, but then she ends up dying. And her daughter is not trying to help her out anymore and is genuinely trying to be Norman's friend and help him be better. So now you don't really have that many suspects. So I will say the reveal is a tiny bit lame. It turns out to be the woman at the diner who helped Norman get the job, which I guess makes sense because why would somebody give somebody a job who just got out of jail for murdering people? No, I believe he was actually sent to a psych ward or a mental hospital or something. But, anyways, it doesn't really make much sense why she would do that. So yeah, it turns out she is his actual biological mother, and the woman he killed in the original movie was her sister that took care of him because she was older. And when his biological mom got pregnant, she just, for one, wasn't ready to take care of a kid, and for two, she was too young, so it would have been looked down upon for her to be a mother. So she decided to have her sister take care of him instead. Now, what I don't really get is I get Norman has gone crazy from all the back and forth being fucked with by Mary and her mom and by his own mom, even though she wasn't doing it on purpose. He now kills his mother at the end of the movie, his real mother, and decides to just like take her to the fruit cellar again, just like what happened in the original movie, and he's crazy again. I think Anthony Perkins does such a good job as Norman Bates. Um, I really like the fact that, you know, the it's starting again scene was pretty creepy. And he's just so good at being like this socially awkward guy that's just trying to be a good person. It doesn't excuse any of the things he did in the first movie, but you really kind of root for Norman, and it really sucks that he gets pulled. He just gets pulled back into that life again because of his mother. And, that's the big reveal that his mother has been the one that's been killing all these people. I think my one critique, even though I feel like it's more of a nitpick than anything, is the fact that Mary sees that her mother is dead in Norman's basement. So now she thinks that Norman is the killer. Granted, there are some other weird things happening with Norman right now, with him thinking that Mary is his mother because she's dressed like his mother. Because she was trying to snap him out of the phone call he had just got. Um, and he's adamant that she is his mother, and he wants to cover up a murder that she did. Because she accidentally killed a cop. Well, actually, it wasn't a cop. It was Norman's mental health doctor or whatever. But anyway, she now seems to think that Norman is the killer. Um, which I don't think really makes sense because she had already suspected that there was someone else in the house. There was a time in the movie where Norman's making tea downstairs and she's upstairs and she sees someone looking through the wall at her. Um, And she later interrogates her mother and realizes her mom isn't the one who was in the house. But yeah, now she thinks Norman's the killer. I do like the fact that there's a character who we see watching that argument happen, and he ends up being the witness and being able to prove Norman's innocence almost, where he's like, oh yeah, these two bitches were planning to do this to him. And that's like his whole character. Like, he's at the police station being like, yeah, Mary and the mom were planning on fucking with Norman. And then that's all he really does in the movie. He's just a kind of a nosy guy that ends up helping Norman in the end. And then the movie ends with Norman officially reopening the hotel because he had closed it earlier because the guy that was working on it had made it a pretty shitty hotel, in his opinion, with having people do drugs there and have sex. Um, I think one thing that annoyed me but isn't a problem of the movie is the fact that Norman starts painting a house. Then he sees Mary in the window dressed as his mom, who he doesn't know is Mary at this point. And he goes to go check it out. Mary locks him in the attic, blah, blah, blah. He never finishes painting the house. We never see him do that. And it's also confirmed later in the movie that he did not finish painting the house. Like, the paint bucket's still there and it's still half painted. I don't know why that annoys me so much. Probably because I'm someone that when I start a job, I always finish it. So, yeah. But movie itself, really good. I bought it on DVD. Well, I didn't even buy it on DVD. My friend got it for me as a birthday present. Um, I don't know why I said that. I guess I'm just used to the fact that I buy myself DVDs all the time. But yeah, my friend got me this for my birthday, so thanks to that friend. It is a 3-pack DVD collection. So it's got the third and fourth movie too. So I'll be reviewing those sometime.